Welcome to Wise Elders Stories channel. Top 7 vitamins to strengthen your legs. Prevent leg cramps in seniors. Envision yourself energized, stable, and ready to take on the day every morning with powerful legs. If you want stronger legs, here are the 7 vitamins you should take. Muscle fatigue, unpleasant cramps, worries about falling, and other similar issues will all be a thing of the past. Keeping active, self-reliant, and confident all come down to proper nutrition. In this article, we will reveal the 7 most powerful minerals and vitamins that can help you keep your legs strong and unbeatable. From protecting bone density and improving circulation to boosting muscle function, these vital nutrients can have a major influence on your everyday mobility and health. People that like dancing, going on walks in the park, or being on their own will probably appreciate this film. If you could just let me know where you are right now before we start, that would be great. If you have any questions or comments, please post them here. If you want to be sure you don't miss a single piece of Health 365's invaluable health information, click the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Help build a stronger, healthier future with us. First, we'll talk about vitamin D. As we get older, our bodies inevitably go through changes. Aging causes a loss of muscle mass and bone density, making it harder to do things that were previously easy. One of the most overlooked reasons for this deterioration is a vitamin D deficiency. It has nothing to do with fragile bones in particular. The health, stability, and power of the legs depend on this vitamin. Discover why vitamin D is the most important nutrient for strong legs in the elderly and how getting enough of it can greatly enhance mobility and general health. As we become older, our skin's ability to absorb vitamin D from the sun diminishes. Worse yet, many elderly people have trouble getting outdoors as much as they'd want because of things like limited mobility, changes in lifestyle, or fears of skin injury. The result? This common condition causes a gradual weakening of the muscles, which manifests as shaky and floppy legs. There is a strong correlation between low vitamin D levels and muscle fragility and an increased risk of falls in the elderly. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism found that seniors with sufficient vitamin D levels had stronger muscle fibers, better balance, and better coordination, making them less likely to sustain injuries and fractures. Those that were deficient, on the other hand, saw their muscle mass deteriorate at a faster rate, making it harder for them to do something as simple as getting out of a chair or climbing stairs. Vitamin D is concerned with more than just calcium absorption and bone health, though both are certainly important. By boosting neuromuscular transmission and protein synthesis, this vitamin has a direct impact on muscle function. The leg muscles can think of it as an energy source. Without it, they can't perform to their full potential. Scientific studies have shown that vitamin D plays a crucial role in maintaining the integrity of fast-twitch muscle fibers. These fibers are responsible for quick reflexes and maintaining balance. By allowing the legs to respond quickly in the event of a loss of balance, these fibers help to avoid accidents. Reduced strength in muscular contractions, slower reaction times, and an increased risk of injury are all consequences of vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D also reduces inflammation in muscular tissues, which helps a lot of elderly people with persistent leg pain and discomfort. People who suffer from leg cramps, stiffness, or pain for no apparent reason might be surprised to hear that increasing their vitamin D levels can alleviate their symptoms significantly. Vitamin D insufficiency weakens legs and triggers a cascade of serious health problems if left untreated. Which is most worrisome? Osteoporosis and fractures? Fragile bones are the consequence of an inability to absorb calcium, which occurs when vitamin D levels are inadequate. The inability to move about freely and independently may be devastating if even a small accident caused a serious fracture. A vitamin D insufficiency affects more than just bones and muscles, it also increases the risk of cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and compromised immunity. Neglecting to consume enough vitamin D puts seniors at increased risk for getting chronic illnesses, which worsen their quality of life already. So, how can we fix this? The good news is that getting enough vitamin D is easy and can have a profound impact on your health. The best ways to keep your legs strong and stable and to increase your vitamin D levels are as follows. Time spent in the sun. It simply takes 15 to 30 minutes of direct sunlight, ideally in the morning or late afternoon, to feel revitalized naturally. Use sunscreen with caution, as it can inhibit vitamin D synthesis. Nevertheless, you can increase absorption by exposing your thighs and arms. Vitamin D-rich foods. Fatty fish, mackerel, sardines, fortified dairy, egg yolks, and mushrooms can supplement a person's daily intake, even though food alone might not be enough. Nutritional supplements. A vitamin D pill is essential for many elderly people, especially those who don't spend much time outside. The general consensus amongst specialists is that 800 to 1000 IU daily is the sweet spot for healthy bones and muscles. On the other hand, under medical supervision, people with serious deficits may need higher amounts. If you are unsure about your vitamin D levels, a simple blood test can provide you with a solid answer. Since vitamin D insufficiency is associated with an increased risk of fractures and accidents in the elderly, many doctors now check their patients for it regularly. Mineral calcium. Bone mass gradually decreases with age, making the elderly more prone to fractures than younger people who are still actively reconstructing their bodies. Particularly vulnerable are the quadriceps muscles to this. Some of the more serious injuries that elderly people can experience are femur breaks, stress fractures in the lower limbs, and hip fractures. A tiny injury that might not have hurt much when you were younger can cause months of recovery time or even lifelong mobility issues if your bones don't have enough calcium. Nevertheless, calcium serves a purpose other than enhancing bone density. Additionally, it plays an essential role in the contraction of muscles. Every action, from getting out of a chair to standing up, is based on a delicate balance between muscle fibers and calcium ions. Calcium acts as a trigger for the contraction of muscles, facilitating controlled and smooth movement. When calcium levels are too low, muscles may tense up, become feeble, or just not be able to put out enough power to keep everything in balance. This is the reason why many people who have calcium deficiencies suffer from slow mobility, decreased muscular endurance, and frequent cramping in their limbs. Consequently, how can you be sure that you're getting enough calcium into your system? There are other options outside dairy items, which are still abundant. Dairy goods include milk, yogurt, and cheese. In addition, plant-based milks that have been fortified, pecans, walnuts, tofu, sardines, and green vegetables are excellent sources of calcium. Diversity is what matters most. You may ensure consistent absorption and better bone health by include a range of calcium sources in your diet. On the other hand, certain people, especially those with dietary limitations or problems with absorption, may not get enough calcium from food alone. Here, calcium supplements can be especially helpful since, when taken with vitamin D, they enhance the body's ability to absorb calcium. But amassing more isn't necessarily a good thing. Despite its significance, consuming an excessive amount of calcium, especially from supplements, can lead to kidney stones, calcium deposits in arteries, and gastrointestinal problems. Restoring a healthy balance is crucial. An elderly person's daily calcium intake should be 1,000 to 1,200 milligrams, preferably from whole, natural foods and supplemented as needed. Along with its consumption, movement is another important component in calcium's effectiveness. Bone remodeling and calcium distribution to muscles and bones, where it is most needed, are both aided by weight-bearing workouts like walking, strength training, and mild jogging. Without regular exercise, not even a diet rich in calcium can fully strengthen the skeletal system. Limiting calcium consumption has other negative effects beyond making bones more brittle. It limits people's freedom of movement, ability to participate in things they enjoy, and ability to remain independent. A life of independence, steadiness, and self-assurance depends on strong bones and muscles, which in turn depend on adequate calcium intake. 3. Although most people talk about protein and calcium when they talk about leg strength, vitamin B12 is just as crucial for neuromuscular function. In order to ensure that your legs get strong and accurate electrical impulses, it is responsible for preserving the health of your nerves. When it's missing, your muscles won't get the signals they need, which leads to a deterioration in motor control, instability, and fragility. Fatigue, weightiness, and numbness or tingling in the legs are common signs of B12 insufficiency, which should come as no surprise. Nevertheless, here is the problem. Ironically, many people over 65 suffer from vitamin B12 insufficiency. In contrast to other vitamins, B12 cannot be stored in fat and can be absorbed from a wide variety of foods. Rather, it is greatly affected by intestinal health. The body requires an intrinsic factor, a certain protein, and enough stomach acid to absorb vitamin B12 from meals. Acid reflux, gastritis, and long-term antacid use can further reduce stomach acid production, which in turn reduces absorption. Another factor that contributes to the steady loss of this vital mineral is the fact that many elderly people eat diets low in foods that are rich in B12. Fatigue is just one of the symptoms of a B12 deficiency. Untreated B12 deficiency can cause irreversible nerve damage, which in turn affects balance, coordination, and reflexes. A B12 deficiency has neurological effects, and many elderly people who stumble often, have trouble walking, or feel like their legs aren't working as well as they used to are actually suffering these symptoms. Because the deterioration is usually so subtle, people tend to accept it as a natural part of becoming older. When, in fact, it's totally avoidable. Restoring B12 levels can greatly affect energy and movement, which is great news. Studies have shown that when older adults work to improve their weaknesses, they notice a considerable improvement in their strength, endurance, and limb function. Having said that, where does this vital vitamin come from? Unlike many other nutrients that can be derived from plants, vitamin B12 is nearly always found in animal products. Sources abound in shellfish, especially clams and liver, as well as in lean meats, eggs, dairy, and fish. For those who follow plant-based diets or have trouble absorption, B12 supplements or foods fortified with B12, including cereals and plant-based milk, become essential. The positive update? As a result of its excretion in urine, vitamin B12 is one of the safest vitamins to supplement with. Vitamin B12 injections or higher dose pills may help older people whose bodies aren't absorbing it well from diet alone. Regular blood tests can keep levels where they should be and stop the gradual loss of leg function that often happens with a deficit. Here, though, comes the meat of the matter. A person's leg strength depends on more than just their physical strength. They are related to how well the nervous system works, how quickly things happen, and coordination. If your nerves aren't firing correctly, no amount of workout will make your legs react the way they should. Keeping your B12 levels adequate is one of the best ways to keep moving and living well as you become older, but it's also one of the most underappreciated. 4. Powdered magnesium. Behind the scenes, magnesium is vital for every step you take because it facilitates the transmission of signals to your muscles, allowing them to relax and contract with ease. As the principal modulator of muscular activity, it prevents spasms, increases endurance, and decreases tiredness. A magnesium shortage can manifest in a variety of ways, but two of the most common and underappreciated are restless leg syndrome and recurrent leg cramps when sleeping. Muscle spasms in the legs, especially during the night, are a common complaint among the elderly and can make it hard for them to get back to normal after a long day. This is more than just an annoyance. It shows that your body isn't able to control your muscles to relax at the right times. Because it reduces the effects of excessively busy nerve signals and stops muscles from unexpectedly tensing up, magnesium is essential for those with tremors and involuntary contractions. However, muscles aren't magnesium's only target. Furthermore, it plays a crucial role in maintaining healthy joints and bone density. While calcium gets all the credit for strong bones, magnesium is essential for calcium to do its job. This mineral is involved in controlling the movement of calcium, which keeps it from building up in soft tissues and causing stiffness and pain in the joints. Instead, it makes sure that calcium gets into bones. Research has shown that older adults who consume more magnesium have a lower incidence of fractures and stronger bones, making it an essential component of overall mobility. Magnesium shortage is common since stress, medicine, and poor eating habits can all lead to magnesium deficit. Many elderly people take diuretics, proton pump inhibitors, and some blood pressure drugs, all of which lower magnesium levels. When magnesium-rich foods aren't part of people's daily diets, it can lead to a widespread deficit that gradually reduces strength, flexibility, and endurance. This is why many elderly people notice a slow but steady loss of stamina, which shows up as issues like slowing down when climbing stairs and feeling tired after doing the same things over and over again. The problem is not just with becoming older, it's with not getting enough of the right nutrients to boost performance. Magnesium replenishment has a rapid effect on leg health, alleviating cramps, increasing energy, and re-establishing a feeling of ease of movement. The best foods to eat to get magnesium include legumes, nuts, seeds, leafy greens, and whole grains. A natural way to maintain healthy bones and muscles is to eat foods that are rich in magnesium, such as almonds, spinach, black beans, avocados, and pumpkin seeds. Magnesium supplements, especially those containing the more easily absorbed magnesium citrate or magnesium glycinate, can be an excellent alternative for those who do not get enough magnesium from their food alone. Renewed magnesium levels cause a remarkable metamorphosis. Legs that were previously lethargic and heavy respond with renewed vigor, according to elderly people. People whose muscles cramped or were stiff often find relief, which allows them to move around more freely and sleep better. Improved balance and coordination are side effects of magnesium's role in regulating the neuromuscular connections that underpin regular movement. 5. The mineral potassium. Picture this: you get out of bed first thing in the morning, and the second you step outside, you feel a cramp in your calf. Are you familiar with this? Muscle spasms are a common sign of low potassium levels. The reason behind this is that potassium plays a crucial role in regulating muscle activity by maintaining a balance between the fluids within and outside of muscle cells. When potassium levels drop too low, muscles tense unconsciously, which can lead to terrible cramps, especially in the legs. Older people, who may already have diminished circulation or muscle mass, may find these cramps more than just an irritation; they can be crippling. On the other hand, tense muscles are just the start. After being on your feet for a long time, have you ever felt your legs tremble? On the other hand, you might have noticed a rise in rigidity when walking. A body's ability to move freely and under control depends on potassium's role in the conduction of messages between neurons and muscles. When levels are low, there is less efficient communication between the brain and the leg muscles, which can lead to shakiness, weakness, or even trouble elevating your feet properly. This greatly increases the risk of falling. Accident prevention is of the utmost importance for the elderly. Potassium is essential for muscular function, but it also has an unexpected but important role in keeping bone strong. It aids the body's acid neutralization processes, which are responsible for the gradual loss of bone density. A high potassium diet slows bone loss, which in turn lowers the risk of osteoporosis and keeps legs strong, according to studies. Thus, potassium is associated with more than just muscular function; it also guarantees coordinated muscle and bone contractions in your legs. What follows is an important question: how can one ensure that they are getting enough potassium to support their legs? Luckily, nature has provided us with a plethora of tasty foods that are high in potassium. Even if bananas are the first thing that springs to mind, it's just the beginning. Great potassium sources include avocados, sweet potatoes, spinach, oranges, and legumes. You can get more potassium from a simple roasted potato, skin on or not, than from a banana. The most important thing is to eat a variety of these meals every day to make sure your bones and muscles get enough fuel. If you have trouble getting enough potassium in your diet, supplements might seem like a simple answer. Consequently, how much potassium is really necessary? For adults, the suggested daily allowance is 3,400 milligrams for males and 2,600 milligrams for women. It is usually possible to attain this amount through a balanced diet that includes a range of legumes, fruits, and vegetables. But, people whose health conditions affect their potassium levels, such hypertension or renal disease, should watch what they eat very carefully and work with their doctor to figure out the right quantity. 6. When it comes to the vitamins that are crucial for strong bone formation, calcium and vitamin D usually take precedence over vitamin K. But these minerals won't do their jobs well without vitamin K. Vitamin K is a must-have nutrient because it prevents calcium from building up in arteries and soft tissues, where it can cause stiffness, poor circulation, and cardiovascular disease, and instead deposits it where it should, in bones. Put simply, vitamin K plays the role of a traffic controller, guiding calcium to its proper places and preserving the structural integrity and mobility of your legs. For adults of legal age, this is of the utmost importance. Studies have shown that people with higher vitamin K intakes have healthier bones in general, less fracture risk, and stronger bones relative to those with lower intakes. The reason behind this is that vitamin K increases bone density and resistance to breaking by activating osteocalcin, a protein that links calcium to the bone matrix. Still, that's not all vitamin K is good for. On top of that, it is an essential component for healthy joints and strong muscles. Many people don't realize that strong bones, strong muscles, and flexible joints are all necessary for healthy legs. Vitamin K may alleviate knee stiffness, a common ailment among the elderly, and slow the onset of osteoarthritis, according to research. It can also reduce inflammation in the joints. If you suffer from knee pain from exercising or stiffness from sitting for long periods of time, vitamin K could be the missing mineral that helps you move around more freely. An increased risk of falling, trouble walking, and poor balance are common symptoms of weak leg muscles. Recent studies have shown that vitamin K can help keep muscles strong and coordinated, which is especially important for the elderly. It does this by controlling the amount of calcium in muscle cells, which ensures proper contractions and stops instability causing uncoordinated motions. Among the many plant-based sources of vitamin K1, which is rich in spinach, kale, Swiss chard, collard greens, and Brussels sprouts, you'll find it in abundance. Nutritionally speaking, vitamin K2 is present in a more strong form in fermented foods like natto, fermented soybeans, aged cheeses, and even some animal products like liver and egg yolks. The fact that K2 stays active for a longer period of time and can better channel calcium to bones instead of arteries makes it a particularly useful supplement. The best way to naturally raise your vitamin K levels is to eat more fermented foods and leafy greens. Making small changes, like adding sautéed spinach to a side meal or making kale a regular beverage ingredient, can make a big difference. However, for individuals who have trouble absorbing vitamin K from food, for example, those on long-term antibiotics or with digestive issues, supplements may be a good option. Careful consideration is essential, though. Because vitamin K is involved in blood coagulation and can interfere with blood-thinning drugs like warfarin, it is crucial to consult a healthcare practitioner before increasing your vitamin K consumption. 7. Many people don't realize how crucial vitamin B6, also known as pyridoxine, is for proper muscular function and leg strength. While several nutrients aid in movement, vitamin B6 is especially important for building and maintaining muscular mass, keeping nerves healthy, and repairing damaged muscles. Without it, even the strongest muscles weaken with time, and even the most menial activities, like getting out of a chair or walking upstairs, become too much to bear. Vitamin B6's unappreciated relationship with nerve signaling and coordination is a major oversight. When B6 levels are low, these impulses might become lazy or misdirected, which can lead to numbness, tingling, and even uneven walking patterns. While many elderly people attribute these symptoms to natural muscle atrophy, the truth is that the body is only lacking in the nutrients needed to maintain healthy neuromuscular function. Among vitamin B6's many important functions is its capacity to stave off inflammation-related muscular tiredness. Taking vitamin B6 can help keep your body's inflammatory responses in check, which means less sore muscles and stronger, more flexible legs. Increasing your vitamin B6 consumption may be the turning point for those who have been dealing with chronic stiffness or sluggish recovery after exercise. In addition to its activity in muscles, vitamin B6 is crucial for the synthesis of red blood cells. These cells ensure that muscles can endure strenuous physical activity for long periods of time by transporting oxygen throughout the body. Reduced hemoglobin levels caused by B6 deficiency can lead to early weariness, lethargy, and diminished stamina since the muscles aren't getting enough oxygen. Your body may be trying to tell you that it needs more B6 if you've ever felt abnormally high levels of exhaustion after short walks or moderate exercise. How does one get their hands on this vital vitamin? A plethora of tasty and readily available foods are rich in vitamin B6. Good sources include bananas, potatoes, chickpeas, chicken, and fortified grains. You may naturally restore your B6 levels, which support neurological function and muscle strength, by eating these foods every day. If you have gastrointestinal problems, poor nutritional absorption, or dietary limitations, you may need to take a B6 supplement to ensure you get the recommended amount. Vitamin B6 needs are around 1.5 mg for women and 1.7 mg for males daily. A person's age and gender determine the optimal daily allowance of vitamin B6. While getting enough B6 from food sources is usually safe, taking too high doses of supplements might cause nerve damage if used for too long. Prioritizing a well-rounded diet rich in B6 sources is the most successful strategy since it ensures a steady supply without unnecessary hazards. Please hit the like button if you thought this video was helpful. It makes it much easier for us to bring you better content. To voice your opinions, address your problems, or propose a new topic for us to cover, please use the comments section below. The receipt of your correspondence fills us with joy. You may be sure that you will never miss a health tip or insight by clicking the subscribe button and enabling notifications. Until our next video, stay healthy and stay informed.